Hi guys, Azure Ace here and I am back again with another Danganronpa 3 Future Arc episode discussion. In the last episode, episode 2, we were finally told the rules of this killing game. The characters shall go to sleep after a time limit and one person will wake up as an attacker and kill someone. There's also another rule called Forbidden Actions, which gives everyone one unique additional rule which they cannot perform or else they will be poisoned, and we were given a straight demonstration of that as Sakakura hurt Ryota, causing the poison to inject into Bandai as he could not witness violence, killing him instantly. All hell soon broke loose as Sakakura and Munakata went after Naegi. However, he and Asahina were able to get away with the help of Great Gozu and Miaya. After they escaped, their time was up. Naegi awoke to find Asahina's dead body lying, stabbed in the stomach as we come to episode 3, Cruel Violence and Hollow Words. As we get into today's episode, we see the horrifying scene of Asahina's dead body again, with Naegi and Miaya standing in horror at the scene. However, that doesn't last very long as we hear Asahina and she wakes up. That's right, she isn't dead, guys. That's a complete troll. But anyway, the knife falls out and Naegi picks it up, smelling it, and it's actually not blood that's on it, it's tomato sauce, and the knife is actually a toy knife. However, we hear dripping as we see Asahina's face quickly turn from confusion to horror in a matter of seconds, as well as Monami, and Naegi turns around as well, and that is right, we have our actual third victim of this killing game. Great Gozu is hanging from the ceiling with a knife through the heart, where we cut to the opening. We come back from the opening as Gozu is now on the ground and it emphasises that knife, and what do you know, it's the same knife from the opening and it's the same knife that killed Chisa. Something is obviously amiss here. After the downheartening of grieving over Gozu, we cut to a much brighter room with Ruruka and Sonosuke, and one thing I want to point out that adds to my theory that you saw yesterday is why the hell is there like Monokuma, Mona Lisa paintings in there? Surely again the Future Foundation would not have the mascot of Despair plastered all over the building, but I heavily digress. Sonosuke wakes up and Ruruka offers him another sweet of some sort, and again he refuses it, which pretty much all but confirms his forbidden action has something to do with taking offerings or accepting sweets from Ruruka. We cut again to see Kirigiri, Ryota and Tengen wake up, and actually Kirigiri is really suspicious. She really suspects Tengen because he wasn't worried at all, so maybe that'll play into the future. But we cut again to see Munakata and Sakakura wake up, so really we're just seeing everyone wake up other than Kimura and Kizakura. We switch back to Asahina, Naegi and Miaya, with Asahina now having changed into a tank top and shorts, exactly the same as her opening outfit, which kind of begs the question, was that foreshadowing that she does survive? Who knows? Naegi says he wants to try talk to everyone, where Monami actually does tell them that she found a map of the building that she recovered after Monokuma hacked in, saying that Naegi could use the intercom machine. Monami does explain in short that the building was intended to be an overseas branch of Hope's Peak Academy. However, during the tragedy, Munakata made it his base for the Future Foundation. Naegi then finds out the intercom is in the monitoring room as they all set out to find it. As they're walking, they turn right and Miaya actually goes around in a circle turning left, where we actually find out that Miaya's forbidden action is that she cannot turn right. However, I personally feel that that is utter bullshit, for the main reason being Monami was so flamboyant and almost sarcastic sounding about it. There's also the fact that she turned right during episode 2, so I'm guessing that's not her forbidden action, she is lying. There's also the fact that she didn't physically show Asahina and Naegi her bangle either. Naegi shows Miaya his forbidden action, and then we get told Asahina's forbidden action, which is she cannot be hit with a punch or kick. They all have a little bonding moment where they hear footsteps, with Asahina telling them to be quiet. Asahina and Miaya head off as decoys so that Naegi can proceed to the monitoring room. We finally get to see Kimura again, which is nice. She sees Asahina and Miyaya go past and decides to follow them. We also get to see another character return and also confirms he is not the traitor. We get to see our good old idiot Hagakure again, sitting outside the building shouting for Naegi, Kirigiri and Asahina. We hear a helicopter and Hagakure tells it to stop making so much noise and it starts firing at him, and he somehow manages to dodge every single bullet fired at him, which I found absolutely hilarious. We cut to Kirigiri and her group and they're talking about how they shouldn't be turning on each other, where Kirigiri asks to see Ryota's forbidden action, where he gets this terrified look in his face, but Kirigiri says she cannot show hers either, meaning Ryota's and maybe even Kirigiri's forbidden action is that they cannot show people their forbidden action. However, Kirigiri is about to say something beginning with, unless you're a huge softie, so maybe it means that Ryota can't get angry at people for his forbidden action, but Kirigiri gets cut off by Naegi coming on the intercom. First he breaks the news that Gozu has fallen victim to the killer. He then goes on to explain that while he was a member of the 14th branch, he was doing rescue missions and came across the remnants of the spear, as we actually get this really nice looking shot of Naegi coming into contact with Izuru Kamakura, otherwise known as Hajime Hinata. He then goes on to explain if they never met Junko, they would be normal people, and tells them of the Neo World program, which was meant to be a rehabilitation program for the remnants of the spear, but Junko Enoshima got in. He then tells everyone that he's abandoning the game and tells them his forbidden action. After all is said and done, Munakata actually applauds Naegi for his speech, however says that his words were hollow and decides to go after him, with Sakakura going after his friends as we go to a commercial break. We come back and we're in what looks like the entrance of the building, and we're now with Sonosuke and Ruruka, and they definitely got a little thing going on. But all the lovey-dovey stuff stops as Kimura appears in front of them, and Ruruka and Kimura have a little bit of a back and forth verbal catfight, and Kimura actually takes off her mask and she has braces, and she takes out this little jar of drugs and swallows all of them, and she starts mutating and her hair goes all long and she gets sharp claws, and we see that pink eye ability that she used against Mikan in the first episode, and she is just this huge hulking beast. It's like what we actually saw in Despair episode 2 with Akane taking that drug that Teru Teru gave her, but Sonosuke then throws a dagger and it gets Kimura right in the mouth. However, she legitimately takes it and bites it so hard that it breaks, running after them. We get to see Kizakura return, and I must say he's very suspicious indeed. He's very calm about all this, and I don't know if his sleeve is covering it, but from what I can tell, he doesn't have a bangle on, and he says this very interesting line that I mentioned yesterday where he says, "I need to meet up with that girl," which is very odd and suspicious. We cut to Kirigiri's group again, and they're talking about Naegi and how he believes in everyone, and Kirigiri stops and looks at the Monokuma monitor as Ryota asks her if she is worried, and she does take a moment to think about it but says no. Now this actually did change my opinion. Could her forbidden action be something like she isn't allowed to be worried about Naegi or be worried in general? But then Kirigiri quickly dives out of the way as a chair nearly hits her from behind, as we see that Prickamus sidekick to Munakata Sakakura with a chair in his hand. We switch to Naegi as he breathes in and he hears a crack behind him as he turns around to see Munakata with his sword thrust through a glass window. He walks through it instead of the doorway, which pretty much solidifies the fact that his forbidden action is he cannot touch or enter through doorways. Munakata tells him that his hope is a mere platitude, as the mutual killing game he was in was, as it implies, just a game, and that the real world is different. Naegi has not experienced true despair like Munakata has. Naegi refutes, saying that those platitudes is how hope begins to spread. Munakata says that he cannot allow him to live, as that is a dangerous way of thinking, as he feels that leads to despair as it creates a false hope, with Naegi saying that it leads to hope. Munakata keeps saying his words are hollow, and if the words do hold power, he will use them to stop his blade, as Munakata swings for Naegi with his katana, as the screen cuts to black as the final words Munakata says are, "Too bad this wasn't a class trial, huh," as the episode ends there. My overall judgments for this episode Well, first of all, rest in peace Gozu. He was such a likeable character. He really reminded me of Sakura a lot from back in Danganronpa 1. He was one of my favourites in the game for how great a character she was. However, I just can't feel too sad about it. I mean, it's not as if we had much time to, get to know Gozu and get to have character built around him. So, in a sense, part of me wished that Asahina did stay dead, because at least that gives an emotional impact, because we knew her from the first game, and even with Chisa, we saw her throughout all of the promotional materials, and we're getting to see her backstory in the Despair arc, so it would have made a lot more sense to keep Asahina dead, so this does open the floodgates to even more trolls in the future from Kodaka from this anime, so we'll probably need to try and keep our eyes out for those trolls. But anyway, this episode was a very good one. Everything's starting to move along in this anime, and it's starting to get very interesting with the advent of Munakata and Sakakura going completely insane with distrust and possibly even despair, as he does sort of imply in this episode that you cannot have hope without despair. I am very suspicious of Kizakura after this episode. One thing I will point out that Naegi pointed out, which I find to be a very odd detail, is the whole tomato sauce thing. Why point something like that out? Could he be foreshadowing? Is someone we thought to be dead actually alive? Who knows? But in any case, the animation quality of the episode was damn near perfect as usual, with the music being the same. But now, with the shorter than usual overall judgment out of the way, it's time to get into the suspect segment, where I discuss clues and hints that we have been given in all the episodes up until now that may or may not incriminate one of our characters, then try to balance it if I feel I have evidence to suggest that they are not the prime suspect, with my prime suspect for episode 3 being Koichi Kizakura. I don't want it to be Kizakura, honestly. He seems like such a nice guy, but he has been acting very suspicious as of late, and I'll give you my argument why. First of all, in episode 2, after Chisa was found to be murdered, and after everything went to hell due to Sakakura, Gozu and Munakata's fight, he basically vanished completely and wasn't seen until later in this episode, and even then, he was acting unusually calm about all of the situation happening around him. There's also that one line, I need to meet up with that girl. It's ominous because he doesn't mention any names of anyone in the Future Foundation, he just says, that girl, which can't be really any of the Future Foundation people because of the predicament they're in, unless he needs Kirigiri, as she is arguably the smartest in this killing game due to her ultimate detective status.
That's where you're wrong!
However, in regard to my first statement, it could be entirely down to his personality, which, as shown by his official preview bio for Danganronpa 3, states, Koichi is a relaxed, quiet man who chooses not to get involved in arguments. Also, he is sometimes carefree to a fault. Before the events of the tragedy, he was shown to be somewhat irresponsible and would rather get drunk than teach a class. However, when needed, he is also seen as a reliable person with a sharp intuition, which allows him to assess people for their talents and true character, showing how he is, in general, a calm person who, when you get down to it, can be the deciding factor towards this killing game due to his sharp intuition. This is why I don't think Kizakura is the traitor of this killing game, but who knows, maybe he is hiding something devious from us. We won't know until we get further in, as the count now reads 13 survivors. But nevertheless, if you guys like this video, please be sure to drop a like and a comment down in the comment section below, as well as share this amongst your friends. I've been Azure Ace, thank you for watching the video.
It is I, Vegeta, the Prince of all Saiyans, and you're watching Azura Ace. Subscribe for more content like this one.